Oh, it feels good to have the number one. I haven't had a number one since 2012, and I always make a joke about it. You know, Moto memes always says trust the process, and we've been trusting it, and it came through. So it's cool to see the number one. Worked hard for it, and yeah, bike looks good, so it's pretty sweet.
Teammates with Joey Savatgy this year. I feel like you guys are going to have a lot of battles on and off the track there. I feel like that excites you, that almost lifts your game as well. Take me through that and having a teammate like Joey. Yeah,
absolutely. Having Joey setting up kind of last minute definitely elevates the game. Definitely got to refocus, and it's going to make it tougher for sure. You know, I'm not counting any of the boys out here either. You know, Mossy and Jed and Clouty. There's a lot of good boys, so it's going to be tough. But you know, having Joey, you know, it's going to be very competitive, and with the race formats, it's not your traditional 20 lappers. So it's going to be exciting, but it's going to be very intense as well.
You got to see how this championship sort of played out last year. This year, AME and the group have really put more into it, more rounds, different locations. What's your thoughts on that and the Australian Supercross from, you know, a rider like yourself in America who takes the time to come out here to Australia and be a part of it?
Yeah, I think being an American-based rider and coming over, I think it's really good for the sport and for Australia Supercross, and more coming over, you know. And this year we got, I think it's 5 rounds, and the Oz Supercross series have been working super hard to build this series up, and yeah, if I can help a little bit with that, you know, it's cool, you know. So it's just cool to meet all the new fans and go to new places that I've never been to in Australia. Like here we're in Brisbane, or we're in Redcliffe, and it's just beautiful here. Just even this morning walking and having a coffee and the nice weather, and I'm like, oh, I could get used to this. It's beautiful. So I'm just enjoying it. It is, you know, I do have the number one plate. There is maybe a little bit of pressure, but for me, I'm just not going to change my approach. Enjoy it, have fun, whatever happens, happens.
Thanks, Dean. It's fantastic to have you a part of the championship again.
Thank you.
It's actually been really good. I mean, straight after the Pro MX, I flew home, had like 2 days off, and then tried to get straight into SX. It was mainly just trying to get some laps in. As you said, I've had like 9 years off, so yeah, it was a little bit different at the start, just trying to get the timing down and everything like that. But I feel like the last 3 weeks have been really good, and yeah, I sort of feel like I know how to ride Supercross. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't have massive expectations on myself. I want to go out there and just have no expectation, no pressure, and just see how I go, and then each round I can try and build on that.
See, that's an interesting dynamic, and it's you can't really base it off anything you've done previously. You know, between you, is there something where you hope to be? Is it to click off top 5s? Is it heat race wins? Is there little goals along the way that you're looking for?
Yeah, definitely. There's little goals. I sort of set them for myself, but until you go racing, you never know what you're going to get. So yeah, there's definitely goals there on my side, but like I said, we'll see how we go and try and get this first round out of the way. And I mean, we're straight into it the next day for the second round. So yeah, I think if I can sort of pick my faults on the first night and try and improve on that on the second night again, and just keep building from there, I think that's the plan for me so far. And I mean, like I said, you don't really know what to expect until you go out there and get it. So yeah, expectations could be higher or lower than what we even know. So yeah.
Have you enjoyed learning that process again, that process of Supercross and those other little bike skills along the way? Like you said, this will be the longest year you've had for quite a while.
Yeah.
What's that feel like coming into it, you know, mentally being able to refresh and get ready?
It's actually been really good for me. Obviously, not doing it for like 9 years, it's not learning it again, but it's just something different. I mean, I've done motocross, and when I raced GPs, all we did was motocross, and I'd come home for like a 1 month holiday and then just go back straight into motocross again. And now it's just, yeah, something different, something refreshing. It's definitely something fun for me for sure. And I mean, racing, it's going to be completely different than practicing as well. So looking forward to getting out there and just, yeah, seeing how we go and getting amongst it.
Great to have you part of the championship. Thanks, Jed.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would say definitely more positive than not positive. So you know, obviously, being back here in 2009, I think 2010, I did the juniors, and then yeah, I mean, winning the finale of WSX in 22 in Marvel Stadium. So yeah, there's a lot of positives. You know, I do enjoy coming here. It's the culture is good, and the fan base is awesome. Honestly, they treat me really well every time I come here. So yeah, I'm excited, and I think it'd be a good thing to do, is add another one to the list.
Hey, talk about that time frame. So obviously we've seen you part ways with the Triumph team out there in the United States. What was the time frame of, you know, Yuriv Konski sort of reaching out to be a part of this championship and the team?
The honest truth is about 4 days. It was just something that, you know, obviously with this series coming up, we were running out of time. And we had talked, I mean, months and months earlier in the year, but, you know, obviously the plan then was to stay where I was at. And then it was kind of like we got confirmation that the 450 wouldn't be ready in time on the Triumph side, and Martin happened to reach out, you know, like on a Monday morning, and yeah, by Wednesday or Thursday, it looked like it was a pretty for sure thing. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of back and forth, and there wasn't a lot of build up to it. It was kind of just like things aligned, and it made sense.
Was that you know, the departure from Triumph then, was that a mutual thing on both sides, and how that played out?
Yeah,
which is stressful for you because of, you know, the last few years you've had.
Yeah, I wish that was something that maybe, I guess myself as well as Triumph, maybe we could have done a better job just explaining it. Not that we really need to, but yeah, I mean, it was mutual, you know, like we had originally agreed that it would just be outdoor only on 250 and 450 the following year, and you know, they busted their ass to get the 250 ready, and you know, I just don't think that they really wanted to do that again to get the 450 ready, and to be honest, I don't blame them. You know, I wasn't there a lot, but I was there a good amount, and I saw the stress and workload that, you know, everyone had there to get the 250 ready. So to get the 450 ready, and even less time, because, you know, they had to get ready for East Coast last year, but obviously with the 450 you got to be ready come January 6th or whatever it ends up being. So it was a lot. You know, it was definitely, like I said, it was mutual, and I think it was unfortunate from both sides. You know, I enjoyed working with them. I think they enjoyed having me around, and yeah, it just, again, it was one of those things that didn't work. But it led to where I'm at now, and get to go racing full time again, which is nice, and yeah.
You know, a championship favourite for sure in SX1 here in Australia. Is that an added sense of pressure, so to speak, for you, or is that where you excel best?
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily added pressure. I think as being an American and kind of having the Supercross experience, I think naturally they just categorize me as one of the favorites, which I'm fine with. You know, I believe that my ability is one of the favorites, but you know, like, truth be told, you know, I've ridden the 2025 for 3 days. Literally, I landed Saturday, I rode Sunday, Monday, Tuesday on the 25, and here we are to go racing. So I definitely don't have very much time, but, you know, that's where I'll rely on my experience in the past, and just being the older dog, I guess you could say. And yeah, like I said, I don't mind it. I believe that I should be one of the favorites, and that I can win. So yeah.
It's been really good. Obviously, you know, the dream is always to get on a factory seat, and your life is made a lot easier. But definitely appreciate what we did last year. You know, everyone put in, and you know, within the same family, within the KTM group. So you know, a seat opened up for me to get on the MC 450F with the Gas team, and here we are. So it's been really good. You know, they made some changes to the bike for 2025, and so far so good. It was a little bit of a short and sharp pre-season, but I picked it up a lot quicker than I thought I was going to, and yeah, so far so good.
When you come off last year, you know, with that privateer profile, and sort of you're doing everything yourself, trying to build it, you sort of, it's not like lose the expectation of your results, but when you go back to that factory team, do you find added pressure to go out there and perform?
Not so much. It's like I said before, it's a lot of familiar faces within this group, so you know, I talk to the same people I spoke to last year, so not much has changed. It's just, you know, how my pit area looks and the colour of my bike, really, that's it. So no, there's no added pressure. I think if we go out and execute and ride like we know how, we can definitely be up there. But in saying that, we do have to take it one step at a time. It's been a long time off the bike, and, you know, keeping in mind the fact that I did have a big injury at the start of the year, and it's not like I've actually been on the bike this year. I've come from complete zero, so got to keep it realistic. But if we can get out of this weekend with 2 top 5s, I think that would be a really good spot to build from, and I think we're capable of that.
Expectations for Dylan Wills for Supercross?
I want to be a podium guy for sure, and I think with this new bike and where we're at, how far we've come in, it's only been 4 or 5 weeks on the bike, so it's been a short turnaround, but I think we can be, you know, fighting for podiums. Obviously, it's extremely hard to beat these American guys or international guys with how much Supercross experience they have. but I think, you know, once we find our feet and on this new bike and continue to improve the bike, I think we can definitely be there.
Since I come back racing, was my goal to get on this team. That was my dream, and to come back and win an Australian Championship. So 50% of it's done. I've got on the team now. I just got to go win a championship. But no, it's it's a dream. It's a dream come true for me.
I feel like there's a lot of hype around Matt Moss this year. Be that what you've done in the past or the story of what you've done. Do you feel that? Do you feel that, you know, that little added pressure of, I'm going to go be the Australian to go out and show these Americans what's up?
Yeah, I don't feel the pressure from it. I enjoy the pressure, but, you know, I think the hype's behind, you know, everyone really wants to see an Australian win the Australian Supercross Championship. Not saying that Dean's not a legend himself, but, you know, I think to keep it on home soil, sponsored by an Australian team instead of having an Australian team sponsoring all these internationals, I think like the people get behind that. They really want to see an underdog win, and you know, I think this year will be a great year. You know, obviously got to stay injury free and stuff like that, but bike's amazing, all that sort of stuff, and I'm happy, and when I'm happy I tend to ride really well.
Sounds like the fairy tale coming back to that team, and then, you know, if you can go out there and win a championship together, does that maybe tick a final box for Matt Moss? How many more Supercross championships are we going to see line up at?
Obviously, being a racer, if you win a championship, you want to try and back it up again. But 100% that will tick my box, and I would probably hang up the boots. Not saying I'd try and defend it, and then if I didn't win again, then I would probably hang up the boots. But yes, that elusive number 10, I want that.
Yeah, it was honestly a really quick transition. It was really leaving the second round of the SMX series where Marty had kind of asked me like, hey, would you be interested in doing Australia and Worlds? And I'm like, no, not really. And then that Monday, Yariv called me and kind of asked me the same thing, and I'm like, no, not really. Like, I'm tired, and it's been a long year. And then he's like, well, can I send you something to look at? And he sent me over like an official offer, and I'm like, I'm not so tired anymore. So it was really from then we started working on things, and it's been super easy to kind of put it together. Yuri's been really easy to work with, and really upfront, really personable, and that's where I think it made the decision a lot easier. I talked to Brayton a couple times because I'm like, hey, I don't really know what to do. Obviously, it's a big commitment, not knowing. We've loved our time in Australia the couple times we've been here, but yeah, it's like, well, we might go over there and stay for an extended period, and what does that entail? Is that something we're willing to commit to? And yeah, I mean, overall, it was a pretty easy transition and commitment once we laid everything out, like travel schedule, and this is what the timing of it looks like. And now we're here about 2 weeks later, and I'm excited about it. This has been an experience beyond what I thought it would be.
Hey, your 250 career throughout the US was very, very polished. You achieved a lot of great things. Stepping back onto the 250 here in Australia, does it like a sense of going back in time and getting to relive that again? What's that transition been like?
I think it's probably been the easiest it's been of all the times I've done it. And really, it's like this, I'm on the 2025 Honda now in the States. When I rode the bike there, I only rode 2 days in the States, and it was pretty good. But when I got here on this bike and on the 25, I was just like, okay, this is totally different, and it's good. Like, at no point was I like, man, this thing is like slow. It's a really good bike. It's got really good power for it to be a 250, and that's something that I think. Obviously, the last couple of years with WSX, the team I was on before kind of started from scratch, so there was a lot of catching up to do, but we were on a pretty good platform, and now it's like getting on a bike that is developed and has the whole team kind of pour in their time and effort into it. When I got on the bike, it really showed that. So I think right now it's like, hey, this is a job opportunity. This is where it's like, hey, I can do well at this, and this is where God has us right now. So that's what I'm excited about.
We've seen in the past, you know, riders really use this championship to almost re-kickstart their career, and they've gone on to do a lot of great things. Say with like Max Anstie, it's a little bit of a different story, but Are you able to see potentially, you know, being here in Australia, winning this championship, kick-starting what that pre-season is going to look like for America for 2025?
100%, and that's where I think Brayton has really laid the foundation for that. And now, I mean, going into this Australian series, like there's really good competition here, and the competition is growing, and it's like, hey, these teams want to win, and these teams are wanting to, hey, we're willing to pay you this, we want to go win, we want to give you an opportunity. And it's like, for me, this is kind of ideal because it's so competitive in the States that getting top 10 on a second or third tier team, that's a win. And it's like, to make that transition to one of the factory teams, it's like, with being 30 years old, it's not really, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's like, I don't know that those teams are really looking for that either. So yeah, it's definitely probably the best opportunity I have right now, and really what it does for my career long term, because it's like, hey, we can start piecing things together like Brayton did. And I think that, I mean, I don't know how old Brayton is now, but it's shown that like the older guys can continue to race when they do things that are tailored to where they're at in their life and where their body is at and what their body's capable of. And that's something that, for me, I think I can definitely see that picture a lot more clearly now. And right now it's Australia.
Thanks, Shane. We're excited to have you part of the championship. Good luck.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, it was last minute call up. Obviously, some of their guys got hurt previous to this, and got the call. And obviously, racing 2 years in Australia, I wanted to come back for a third. Have yet to win the championship. Want to give it another go, and obviously here we are back at round one for the start of Australia. It's a great opportunity with the team, bike, all that.
You know, when you think about it, bridesmaid to the championship twice now. Can we go third time lucky and pull the championship off, Cole?
Yeah, no, I was actually, I was just talking about it with my teammate Shane. I said, I was under the impression I'd be the guy this year, and then they bring in Shane. But I think it's a good fit for me with the team, and good fit for him. And I think we'll both feed off each other's energy. He's a good rider, I'm a good rider, and I feel like I have a good program this year. Coming in to this season, I've been healthy and training and riding, so I think all the pieces are there. It's on me now. I said I have no excuses. I'm on basically Max's exact setup for what he won the championship back-to-back years, and I said if I can't get it done, then it's 100% on me.
Now for you, you've seen this in years past, being a part of this championship, and then going over back to AMA Supercross there. Is there no better pre-season than racing here in Australia?
Honestly, no. I credit a lot of my success in the US to being over here and racing the guys over here. A lot of good competition, a lot of good kids that are coming up through the ranks, and Australia is obviously proven themselves now at MX of Nations that they are the country that's on the rise, and for a good reason. You see a lot of youth and talent in the youth, and I think being over here racing the young guys and being in the 250 class, you get a lot of bar banging and gets you warmed up for what's to come in the US.
You've got to see years past with this championship, sort of how it unfolds and the growth, the fans. This year as well, adding more rounds to the championship, being back here in Brisbane. What's that like, being able to see the championship grow just as much as you've been a part of it?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like I say, the 2 years that I've spent here in the short amount of time, to see how interesting the racing's gotten, and like I say, there's more and more eyes on the sport, and seeing it grow and seeing a small country like Australia have a series this size is absolutely amazing. I know for myself, coming from Canada, we obviously have a smaller community, and being able to come over here and have an opportunity with a good team and obviously the race series that there is, it's awesome for us and awesome for our living.
Thanks, Cole. Good luck, and we'll see you on track.
Thank you.